So I had an episode planned for you, but I decided that that's not what I want to drop tomorrow. And instead, I want to pick up the mic at home. Sorry, there's no video. I got some positive feedback on this kind of vibe, and I'm not going to do it all the time, but every so often, I think I should indulge in my new favorite way to record. So I did a little pulse check in the Unbothered group chat on Instagram to see how we're all doing, see what's going on, guys. More than half of us are going through it, the other half somewhere in between, and two people answered that they were at peace. Okay. So I'm also going through it, and when I'm going through it, I rewatch Sex in the City. And I got to season 2, episode 1, and I started just taking notes on it because I love season 2 of Sex in the City. It's my favorite. And this episode, she's going through a breakup, I think her first breakup with Big, and she's talking about the rules of a breakup. If you've ever seen Sex in the City, it's the one where she's in like a fur coat at a Yankees game getting drunk. Anyway, I wrote down the 5 different rules that she says need to be implemented during a breakup. And I want to talk about whether or not I agree. Maybe some rules I think there should be, some rules there shouldn't be, or if there should be any rules at all, and how to maybe navigate that weird post breakup vibe, if even possible. My voice is like a little lost, so I'm going to do my best, and this will probably be a shorter episode. I have been going out on the town lately, guys. It's not something I normally do, but in the last few weeks, it has been something I normally do. And I have been bus, car, train, plane, another bus, no sleep, next place. Like, I've been outside the house. So bear with me. Okay. So rule number 1, destroy all photos where he looks sexy and you look happy. Carrie, I don't know. I'm not a big photo destroyer, guys, unless they've done something like truly horrible. Okay. But I think that, and even so, I don't know that I've ever gone through my camera roll and deleted photos of an ex. 1, because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that shit. And 2, I do think there's something to say about like that was a time in your life. That was a part of your life. They were a part of your life. And I don't like just kind of lobotomizing it, if you will, if that word even makes sense there. I don't like erasing, eternal sunshining it, just removing it all. I think that's kind of sad. And maybe one day when I'm older, I will want to look back and see, what was going on, especially if it was a longer relationship. Like, I want to be able to go into my camera roll and see what I was doing in 2017, 2023, whatever. I think maybe hide the photos, like don't go look at them. But yeah, I'm not a big like destroy the photos, light them on fire girl. I have done that in high school, but I think I'm beyond that. I do say, TBD on the archiving. I used to archive photos on socials. I just like, I also don't really get, like, I'm not going to get behind that right now either. I don't think it's necessary. That's a hot take. That's a hot take. Because also, it's like, I would understand if you get into a new relationship and they're like, why do you still have these up? But if it's from forever ago, it's down the feed, like, whatever, I really, as long as you didn't post it yesterday. But yeah, I'm a leave the photos as they are kind of girl. And I think that I would not archive my photos unless my ex did, and then I would do it because I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be the only one with them up. But I don't really see a problem. Fight me, sue me. Okay, and then rule number 2, she doesn't even say it's specific a rule, but she says she's going through a breakup, she's allowed to be drunk. In this episode, she gets drunk at a Yankees game, asks out a Yankee, and then copes by dating the Yankee. You know what? All the power to her, and I think that that's a thing that most women do, this kind of vibe. However, here's what we know about rebounds. Here's what we know about getting drunk to numb the pain. Eventually, you're gonna have to go through it. The only way out is through, I think. That's the only way I figured it out, guys. The only way out is through. If you have any other opinions on that, let me know. But I think we do eventually have to feel the feelings. And I think drinking too much, and I'm saying this from experience, after like a couple weekends of it, you start to feel like shit, not as sharp, less yourself. And so it's all fun and games until it's not. And I do think that we have to be a little careful because it is a slippery slope. But I can get behind Carrie getting drunk in her fur coat at a Yankees game and asking out a Yankee and then proceeding to parade him around town. I get it. Who wouldn't? But also, like, I think she runs into Big later in this episode. I'm watching it as I record this. She runs into Big at the bar later in the episode with the guy and then just like cry. I think she cries and runs away from the Yankee and goes home or something like that. So just beware of what you're doing to yourself with that one. Breakup rule number 2, Carrie says, is lie. It's a lot easier than telling the truth about how you're feeling to your friends. No, I'm also gonna veto that rule that she's created. I think you need to be talking to your friends unless you want this to be a temporary breakup. I think that this is actually hard. This is tricky because I have an ex who we made a pact to not talk to our friends or family about it for a little bit. And that actually helped a lot, because then once everyone starts getting involved and everything, it just gets messy. So I understand that. But I don't think we should be lying to our friends about how we're feeling or saying that we're doing okay when we're not. So maybe it's a little balance. I also don't think we need to be smear campaigning someone that we once loved, which tends to happen in a breakup, especially when you bring your friends into it, and maybe your friends didn't like that person and now they're like talking shit about them, or you are, and I don't like that, because I think that if you really truly love somebody, you would not be talking about them negatively in that way. And I'd hate to think that my ex is doing that to me. I am a firm believer of speak about someone the way that you would speak about them if they were in the room. If you would say it to their face, so be it. But I don't think that we need to be like shit talking, smear campaigning, or lying. So there's got to be some sort of balance in there. Breakup rule number 3. This is the first rule of Carrie's that I agree with. Until emotionally stabilized, enter no store. We have to update this for modern times. Like no Apple Pay, no online shopping. And this is hard if you're going through a breakup. Careful. Retail therapy feels so good. Honestly, like the way that I would love to go shopping right now. But it's so irresponsible. It's like going to the grocery store when you're hungry. Let's not engage in that. I'm going to agree with Carrie for the first time tonight. I have an idea for this too, because like when you're going through a breakup, you do want to feel refreshed and new and different and hotter and like you've had a glow up, which is why people like chop their hair off. Maybe reorganize your closet. Pull a bunch of stuff out. Donate whatever you don't wear. Look at like new possible outfit combinations. Really start working with what you have and making space for new stuff before you allow yourself to start shopping. Okay, rule number 4 from Miss Carrie Bradshaw. She says, never stop thinking about him even for a moment, because that's the moment he will appear. I think we gotta stop thinking about him. I'm sorry, Carrie, but I think that's the whole point, is to stop thinking about him, actually. I get the whole, like, that's when you're gonna run into him. Like, just leave the house looking cute if you have a fear of that and you live in a small town. But listen, we gotta stop thinking about him. As a matter of fact, we have to start doing things that make us stop thinking about him. It's debatable what those things are allowed to be. That's the rules of the breakup that get a little wishy-washy, right? So it's like, if we're being really healthy, we're going to Pilates, we're going to yoga, we are picking up new hobbies. We're painting, we're doing pottery, we're hanging out with our friends as much as they will possibly spend time with us. We are leaning into anything and everything that gives us dopamine and following the science of a breakup. And that way we are healing quicker and smarter, and we're feeling the feelings as they come through. Now, that is a dream case scenario. That is somebody who is not only super well evolved, but very well disciplined and strong. Most people after a breakup are not. Okay? Most people have a crash out period. And during that crash out period, a lot of the ways that we stop trying to think about someone are vices. So we're going to amp up the alcohol. We're going to go out. We are going to do anything that involves getting dressed up, looking hot, going out, and numbing the pain, okay? We're drinking the go-go juice. We're rebounding. We're making out with hot guys. We're hanging out. We're going on dates. We're moving on. We're moving forward. We're out there. Those are all things that in the short term definitely help, but there's a reason why women statistically get over breakups quicker than men, and it's because majority of women feel their feelings. They stick to the routine of the healthy stuff. They spend time with their friends and they talk about it until they lose their voice. And men, statistically, have a higher rate of numbing themselves. And then it hits them 3 to 6 months down the line because they've been running around, drinking, partying, sleeping around, doing whatever else, and avoiding the feelings. And it's really not gender specific, okay, because it goes both ways. But there has been research done on what works and what doesn't. And the latter doesn't work because you're gonna have to feel it. That being said, I've done both. And it is a lot easier to do the latter, but it's only easier for like a month. And then you get hit with this wave of like regret and upset and yearning and longing, and you have to feel it all, except for the other person has probably done the inner work and they're over it. That's always what happens. And so I just don't recommend, guys. I don't recommend jumping into bed with somebody from the get-go, but you know what? People do it. Okay, and then we have Carrie's fifth rule. I love this rule. I agree with this rule. No matter who broke your heart or how long it takes to heal, you'll never get through it without your friends. Yes, and this is why they say when you get in a relationship, do not isolate yourself. Spend time with your friends. Don't take them for granted. Don't be the girl or the guy who is so immersed in their relationship that they never see their friends. They just throw their friends to the dust. And then you go through the breakup and you go crawling back to them for their help. Don't be that person. Lean on your friends, spend time with them, go out. Also, get a therapist, okay? Because your friends are not your therapists either. And as much as I do believe a good friend is going to let you talk about the same problem a million times until you feel better, I also think we need some professional opinions in the mix. Okay, I'm going to come up with my own 5. Because as much as I love Sex in the City, I think 3 out of 5 of Carrie's rules are not that great. Rule number 1, the delusion clause. So for the first week, you are allowed to lie to yourself. You're allowed to say that you're thriving. You're allowed to say that you're like totally better off, that everything's okay, that you're over them. You're allowed to crash the fuck out for a week. Maybe even a little longer than a week, but the delusion clause, that's only a week. We cannot be delusional for more than a week. And not only are you allowed to, but it's gonna happen, right? Like in the stages of grief, you go through denial. It's gonna come in waves. But that's rule number 1. You've got a week to let yourself behave this way until you can start facing the music and feeling the feelings, because you're not going to get over it until you let yourself feel the big feelings, the big scary ones that you're avoiding. You gotta feel them. Number 2, no stalking. You guys, I know this is hard, but don't do it. Don't do it. It's a gateway drug to self-torture. Okay? Once you become the FBI, a PI, you're fucked. If you start zooming in on like different details of their story, you're checking their following count, you're looking at who's commenting on their photos, who's liking them, you're cooked. You know why? Because it's addicting. And every time you do it, you're going to get a spike of cortisol and a little heavy heart. Okay? It's going to feel like an elephant just came and sat on your heart. Do not do that to yourself. And I know it's so hard to have discipline and self-control with those things sometimes because the knowledge is there, right? Like if you want to know if your ex is talking to someone new, it's not that hard to figure out on social media. You can probably find the person. And it's kind of just like, do you want to know? Like, I don't think I want to know those things. I'm not in the business of masochism. Okay, rule number 3, no causing harm. This should go without saying, but I've seen some things. I've seen some people do some crazy things. We are absolutely not doing anything illegal. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not mailing glitter packets. Okay, we are keeping our dignity, our good karma, and our side of the street clean. No crazy business, no funny business, no revenge, guys. And listen, when you've been cheated on, I know saying no revenge is like, yeah, okay, I'm going to get my lick back. Nothing good comes of that. Nothing good comes of that. I dug my key into... We are not digging the key into the side of his pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. We're not slashing his tires and bashing in all the headlights or whatever the other lyrics are. We are actually, if we need to, we're taking a beta blocker and we're going to bed. There's no reason to behave that way. And so, is that my rule number 3? Rule number 3 is keep your dignity in the crash out. You can crash out, but you can't lose your dignity. That's hard to recover from. So remember that. We're not doing anything nuts. We're regulating ourselves emotionally the best we can. Revenge looks good at first glance, but it's not. Peace always looks better. Looks prettier on you. Okay, rule number 4, coping mechanisms. You got like a month of coping mechanisms, and then you gotta lock in. Okay, and you got to be careful with your coping mechanisms. You really do. Again, it is a slippery slope. Maybe create limits for yourself. Like if you're going to go on a crash out bender where you're going out from like Thursday to Sunday, tell yourself, I'm going to drink a glass of water after every espresso martini, or I need to be in my bed by 1. Like try to keep some sort of discipline if you can, after you've given yourself like 1 or 2 weekends of just completely like balls to the wall going nuts. I do think people need to like go a little crazy sometimes. The anxiety the next day, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. It's mostly not. Oh my God, and when you are going out during this phase of the breakup, if that's how you want to cope, do not text or call that person. Do not. Telling you right now. I'll come take your phone and throw it into a river. We're not doing that. And don't unfollow, don't block. Like no crazy rash decisions when you're intoxicated. That is heavy on that rule. Where are we at? Rule number 4, no Etsy witches. I'm kidding. Okay, I think you don't have to be chill girl. You don't have to be crazy girl. Just be gone girl. Be gone girl. Okay? Like zap, take yourself out of that situation. Don't create a mess for yourself. No big messes. Okay, and finally, rule number 5, do not narrate your sadness online. I say as I like narrate my whole life online. We need to not be posting like the roomy quotes, the dramatic girl memes. Okay, like we got to be a little bit more subtle than that. If anything, we're going to do it tasteful. Like a screenshot from Sex and the City or a carousel from Unbothered account because it's chill. It's not too insane. Like find something that's not aggressive. Find something that doesn't make you look crazy if you're going to share your feelings online, because nothing looks worse than a documented crash out. Let's not jump straight into the thirst traps. If you look hot, go for it. But like what I'm saying is if you're immediately thirst trap, sad quote, party video, like it's too predictable. We need a little mystique in there, okay? A little mystique. So then I remembered that breakup rules are like a common thing because Dua Lipa literally has a song that my friend Ian, shout out Ian, produced called New Rules, and she says her rules. So let me read hers. 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. Okay, you know what? The amount of phone calls I've gotten that I've picked up that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have. Because also now I'm drunk. And like, and now I'm waking up the next day and I'm like, what even did I say? I don't know. I don't know that we should be picking up the phone, but it's situational, okay? If we're actually ready to go no contact, like don't pick up the phone. But if this is someone you've been involved with for a long time and you are co-parenting or dealing with logistics and things like that, you kind of have to pick up the phone, sorry. 2, don't let him in. You'll have to kick him out again. I mean, fair enough. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're going to wake up in his bed in the morning. I can't believe I'm reading off lyrics of New Rules. I mean, she's not wrong, though. That's sleeping with an ex is, high stakes. That's dangerous territory. Rough stuff, guys. I absolutely advise against doing it unless you want to get yourself, like, all fucked up in the head. And if you're under him, you're not getting over him. Those are all of Dua Lipa's rules. We've got Carrie's rules, Chloe's rules, Dua's rules, so many rules. All of this to say there's no right way to grieve a person or a breakup. Every situation is so vastly different. The only like thing I can say is try to be nice to yourself and the other person. If you're ending things on good terms, of course. You know, and even kind of on shitty terms. Like do your best to just keep it cool, keep it cute, and move it on. Move it forward. Get it going. I personally hate being on bad terms with people. My brain makes it feel like it's unresolved. The few times that I have like lashed out in anger, I have felt embarrassed about it. I would much rather be the person where my ex can look back and be like, you know what, like she was a great girl and I love her and I miss her and I fucked up, than like, woo, she went crazy, you know? I don't know. I just like to leave a good taste in people's mouth. I'm running out of voice. I'm losing my voice, but I hope this little like mini-sode provided some insight to any of you guys who are going through a breakup, or like maybe just made you reminisce on what it felt like to go through yours, or gave you advice that you can put in your pocket for the future in case you have to deal with it, which I don't wish that upon you. Breakups suck. Remember, as cliche as this sounds, it's true. This is only temporary. Life will move on. And I know that even sucks to hear sometimes in a breakup where you're right. You're like, no, I don't want to move on. It'll be okay. You'll be okay. Everyone is going to be okay. And to all of you guys who responded in the group chat saying that you were going through it or somewhere in the middle, and if you're not in the group chat, can you guys please join the group chat thing? Because I'm asking like every week about topics that I should cover and how you guys are doing, and I'm sending memes and I'm talking about how I'm doing, so join me in there. If you don't know what the group chat is, it's just on Instagram, on the profile on the top. There's like a group that you can join. Just click it and join and talk to me in there because I'm in that bitch. Anyway, have a good night or a day or afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Good night.